The day I inherited $35 million was supposed to be the day my father's final gift changed my future. Instead, it became the day my entire world fell apart. I still remember sitting across from the probate lawyer, trying to hold myself together after losing my father. I expected paperwork, legal formalities, and difficult conversations about the estate. What I did not expect was for the lawyer to stop reading, look directly at me, and quietly ask, "Are you aware that you have been legally divorced for the past 2 months?" For a few seconds, I honestly thought he had confused me with someone else. That morning, my husband had reminded me to take my coat because it was raining outside. We had breakfast together. I had kissed him goodbye before driving to the law office. How could I possibly be divorced? I smiled nervously and told the lawyer there had to be a mistake. Then he slowly turned his computer screen toward me. There it was, my name. My husband's name. A finalized divorce decree. My real signature on every page that my marriage had legally ended months earlier. And somehow I had never known Dot in that single moment. I realized the man sleeping beside me every night had been living a completely different life. Dot, my name is Haley Bennett. And until that day, I believed I had everything a person could ask for. I was 35 years old and the CEO of Novitech, a software company my husband Victor and I had built from nothing. Years earlier, we worked inside a tiny apartment with unreliable internet, second-hand furniture, and dreams that seemed impossible. Together, we sacrificed weekends, holidays, and countless nights of sleep until our little startup became one of the fastest-growing tech companies in Seattle. To everyone around us, we were the definition of a successful marriage. They saw the promotions, the interviews, the awards, and the smiling photographs. They never saw the silence waiting for us behind our front door. The greatest heartbreak of my life had nothing to do with money or business. It was the fact that I could never give Victor the family we both dreamed about. I endured years of fertility treatments, endless doctor appointments, painful injections, and crushing disappointment every time another attempt failed. Victor always held my hand and told me we would get through it together. I believed every word because love makes you trust the person standing beside you, even when your own heart is breaking. I ignored the late nights at work, the growing emotional distance, and the strange perfume that sometimes lingered on his clothes because I convinced myself stress was changing him, not betrayal. Years before everything collapsed, I met a frightened young woman named Chloe Jenkins. She came from a poor family trapped in debt with no future in sight. I paid off her debts, brought her to Seattle, paid for her education, helped her find a career, and treated her like family. She cried while thanking me and promised she would spend the rest of her life proving my kindness had not been wasted. I never imagined that the woman I rescued would become the one person capable of destroying everything I loved. After my father passed away, I learned he had left me an inheritance worth $35 million, carefully protected so nobody else could claim it. That should have been the biggest surprise of my life. Instead, it became meaningless after my lawyer explained how my marriage had secretly ended. As we reviewed the court documents, terrifying memories suddenly came rushing back. Months earlier, while my father was fighting for his life in the hospital, Victor had placed a thick stack of business documents in front of me. He claimed investors needed immediate signatures for an important funding round. I was emotionally exhausted, overwhelmed with grief, and trusted my husband without question. I signed every page. Hidden among those papers were divorce documents. Without reading them, I had unknowingly signed away my own marriage. I could have driven home and confronted Victor immediately, but something inside me told me the truth was much bigger than a secret divorce. Instead, I hired a private investigator and quietly began searching for Answers. What we uncovered was beyond anything I could have imagined. Victor had been living with Chloe in a luxury waterfront condo, only a few miles from our home. The neighbors believed they were happily married, and the little boy running around the apartment proudly called Victor Dad. While I sat alone in fertility clinics praying for a miracle, my husband had already built another family with the woman whose life I had saved. The deeper we investigated, the uglier the truth became. Financial records revealed that Victor had secretly stolen hundreds of thousands of dollars from Novatech through fake companies connected to Chloe's family. The money I believed was helping grow our business had actually been paying for expensive holidays, a luxury condo, designer clothes, and the perfect life Victor had created with someone else. Every sacrifice I made had become the foundation for their happiness. When I finally confronted him, Victor showed no guilt, no shame, and no regret. He blamed my infertility for pushing him away. He admitted he loved Chloe and even threatened to destroy Novatech if I exposed him. He believed I would stay silent because too many employees depended on the company. What he did not realize was that while he thought he was controlling me, I had already gathered lawyers, forensic accountants, cybersecurity experts, and investigators who were quietly building a case against him piece by piece. Victor's greatest mistake was believing he had won. By secretly divorcing me before my father's inheritance was transferred, he unknowingly lost every legal claim to the $35 million he wanted so badly. His own greed had protected me. The final confrontation happened during Novatech's biggest investor presentation. Confident that he still controlled the company's technology, Victor attempted to activate a hidden kill switch that would destroy the demonstration in front of investors. Instead, every password had already been revoked. Every backup system had been secured. Every piece of evidence had been prepared. As police officers walked into the room, I revealed years of corporate fraud, financial theft, blackmail, and sabotage. Within minutes, the man I once loved was being led away in handcuffs while everything he had spent years building collapsed around him. Then came the final twist nobody expected. DNA testing proved that the little boy Victor believed was his son was actually another man's child. The family he had sacrificed his marriage, his career, and his integrity to protect had never truly been his at all. Today, when people ask me what the worst day of my life was, I no longer think about the day I discovered the secret divorce was actually the day I stopped living a lie. My father did not simply leave me $35 million. He left me one final act of protection that exposed every betrayal hidden behind my back. I lost my husband, but I found the truth. I lost a marriage, but I saved my company, my future, and my dignity. Sometimes life destroys the version of your world you believed in only to replace it with one built on honesty. And if there is one lesson I will carry forever, it is this: kindness should never come without boundaries. And trust should never come without wisdom. Because the people closest to your heart are often the only ones capable of breaking it.